Listen up. It's the story of a podcast sensation. Beck and Jake, bringing funny sports to the nation. First boys making waves, causing commotion. Talking stats and sports with endless devotion. From basketball to football, they cover it all. Never afraid to speak, never afraid to call. Angel Hernandez, the umpire supreme, the best in the game, fulfilling every dream. Oh, 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 come listen to the podcast show. Flurry sports got the rhythm, get on the floor and let go. Talking sports all day and night, making laughter and delight. Come and join the party, let's make it all right.
How do you like that one, Jake?
That's a fucking banger, dude. That's the best one so far. That's
It's
so
insane.
good. Oh,
I mean, has so little to do with us, but it's great. I think that's why it's the
little.
best.
And halfway through, I was like, "Oh my god, he just made a fucking Tokyo Drift song."
Basically, Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it's so good. The end was very J-Lo.
Yeah, it was.
Brazil, Morocco.
The way that song starts, like I was gonna start it on like verse 2, but the way that starts, we gotta have it in there.
I know.
It's wild. It's wild.
It is wild. Shout out Angel Hernandez.
Hey, not the only Hernandez we'll be talking about today, I think. But
No,
yeah.
probably not. And what a good segue. First of all, welcome back, folks. You all got a highlight compilation. It's good to be back. We're here to chop it up. I'm excited for this episode because we've got oldie but a goldie. That's right. We don't know what the fuck we're about to talk about, dude. It's going to be awesome. It is that time of sports where it's like when you're a kid and it's like, what is there to eat? And your parents open up the fridge and it couldn't be fuller and you don't want fucking any of it. Like, it's like, we got sports.
We have nothing planned. We don't know what you're going to get. There's a lot of it, and you don't want it. Welcome to the Flurry Sports Podcast. It's going to be a good one.
It is going to be a good one. I will say, basketball playoffs, full swing. NHL playoffs, full swing. Baseball, still a little bit in its honeymoon phase. What are we talking about today? Tom Brady had a roast. It's like
Yes, he did.
Sports news on everything today.
It really is. And everyone's like, hey, they humanized Tom Brady. They humanized Bill Belichick. They made fun of Aaron Hernandez. They really hit everything. They humanized Robert Kraft, kind of, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I think I had two annoyances. I feel like I'm the fun police on it. I will say I didn't watch it, but from the highlights even.
I haven't watched the full thing yet.
That's right. Here's my Debbie Downer on it. One of two things.
Okay.
One, I fucking hate him. I just like don't find him. Like, I don't want to see him made fun of. I just like want him to go away. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
he's in on the joke.
Sure. Bad news. I don't think he's going to go away anytime soon.
I know.
I think he's calling the Super Bowl this year. Congrats. You earned it, Tom. You fought your way to the top there.
Number two, I feel like they, from what I've seen, didn't cover the stuff that I think is most like indicative of Tom Brady being truly unlikable, which is more of the Robert Kraft. Like, I wanted more Robert Kraft. Why are you supporting all these like pedophiles and like xenophobes and all these other things? Doesn't sound they got to on that side of things. A lot of Aaron Hernandez jokes though. So,
Yes.
Fucking got him.
A lot of Hernandez killed himself. A lot of Gronk is a dum-dum. And Kevin Hart is short. There's a lot of all of that. I will say, if
Some
you
good
haven't
divorce
watched
jokes.
some good divorce jokes, I watched it in clips like you, I'm sure, from social media. I'm actually going to go watch it. I'm not sure if you saw any of the Tony Hinchcliffe set.
Yeah.
I think he must have been last or something. He said Tom Brady has the same fan base as Rittenhouse, so you kind of hit it there. But that was pretty good.
True. I got to watch more of him. That was so, and I will say I didn't watch it, so maybe I'll like it more than I thought. I really didn't like the clips I saw of Tom's jokes.
Yeah. Did you see the deflate gate joke
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah. Here's what I don't like. I'll be honest. I'm just biased. I hate him. And it felt like a victory lap.
It definitely did. Yeah.
So, which by the way, he kind of earned. I get it. Like, it's not scientific. I just don't like him. Like, so
Yeah.
that's all it is. Like, yeah, going up there and being like, hey, Bills fans, you fucking suck. Like, I'm like, oh, he's the worst. He's the worst. He's the absolute worst. But some good digs.
I need to see more of what Belichick did because I was hoping Belichick would go in on him more.
Yeah.
The only real thing I saw was that, yes, maybe we butted heads, but we didn't do it that much because it's hard because his head was so far up Guerrero's ass, which is a great joke. I don't think Bill wrote that one, but that was a great joke.
It's a great joke. There's some good zingers. I mean, I really like the Kevin Hart joke about, when you've got a choice, it's the wife and the kids or the opportunity to come back and go 8 and 9. You got to do what a man's got to do. There's some good ones in there. So, and listen, I know that I'm being hypocritical because he literally signed up for it. So that's and like he was clearly willing to make fun of himself. I do, and this I guess is a big question: is do you want to see more things like this? And if so, who's next? Like I liked that the sports people were in on it. Like I'm glad it wasn't just comedians making fun of Tom. Like I'm glad Edelman was good from what I saw.
Yes. Well, Belichick was good. Belichick's great on the mic. Like people are finally realizing Gronkowski was great for what he had to do. He played his role perfectly,
Yeah.
But I mean, who's next? Could you imagine an Aaron Rodgers roast?
Yeah, I think the most obvious one is Manning, but because I think he'd do it.
He would do it. They may have already done it. I don't think he's the most obvious. Like, I don't think there's really that much to say about Peyton. That's interesting.
That's true. His big dumb forehead. I just want a lot of forehead jokes. I guess what I was getting at is I think he'd be funny and like have a good sense of humor to go with it. They've done a Shaq one, haven't they?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That one exists.
Charles Barkley, if they haven't done it,
Yeah. But yeah, you almost need a little bit of controversy. So it's like Brady was a good pick.
Rodgers will clap back and be great. I think he's so easy to do.
If Rodgers signs up for it, it'll be awesome. I think that's a really good pick. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he'd be really good. If he would do it, this is a deep cut. I would love if John Gruden signed up for one.
Honestly, yeah. That would be very good.
Because I feel like a lot of the smoke is settled on the stuff we were most worried about.
True.
And so I think there's stuff there to make fun of, but I don't think it's like irresponsible to have him like propped up like that. Like he'd be good if they would do it and get Mike Tirico.
Oh, Tirico, get Andy Reid, there'd be great ones. What about an Urban Meyer one?
He
would not sign up for it, but it'd be great.
Tebow maybe
would be interesting.
That's what you got to do. Get Tebow on and see if Urban will come on as a guest, and then sneaky Urban Meyer roast.
That's related to it. Like you're just taking side shots at someone who's there. Yeah. I guess my only issue with the Tom Brady one was, and I think you kind of alluded to it. Yeah. Like it didn't feel like a roast of Tom Brady, really. Like they didn't really do much with him. Like it was some surface level stuff. Yes, he looks gay. That's funny. But like, let's take a bigger deep cut. It felt like more of a roast of Angel Hernandez, or not Angel. Sorry, the bad Hernandez, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, the slightly worse, which is Hernandez. I think I agree. It more him. I would say like the jokes about Belichick from the clips I've seen were like pretty equivalent. And I know, obviously, watching it, the Brady jokes will increase. I'm sure quantitative wise, there were more Brady jokes. I bet it's close between Brady and Gronk jokes.
I don't think it's close. I think Gronk got more.
Way more. Belichick
telling Gronk to I've watched your Fox broadcast, and I'm telling you, stop doing your job, please. Like, that's great. Like, do somebody else's job.
That is, yeah, it is good. And like, listen, that's always the thing. Like Jeff Ross still up there looking like death
Yeah.
himself. So,
Mhm.
no, I think a good cast. I like it. I don't know. I was a little off. This has made me feel better about it. I was a little off put on the discussion today of like, I hate to take shots at this guy because I am a big fan. I feel like he's getting more heat recently. Pat McAfee coming out today and being like, Tom Brady, did he just save comedy? No. It was a
no.
fine roast. I just feel like everyone, again, I hate Tom Brady. So any excuse for people to be like, isn't Tom great? No, he fucking sucks, actually. So that's what I wanted. You know what I was missing humor-wise? I didn't get a lot of you're actually mediocre jokes. That's the jokes I needed. Could someone go through his stats and be like, well, where's Matt Castle? Is Matt Castle here?
They should have brought Matt Castle out. He should have roasted him.
I would, if I was there, my opening line, I'm here to celebrate everyone's favorite system quarterback. I'm sure someone said that. Oh, I just hate that he's landed on this pedestal. And I'm so whiny about it. But no, I think if they were going to extend out of football, I mean, in basketball, the obvious one, and I think he'd surprise people because I do think he would do it, is LeBron. I think LeBron gets the reputation that I know that he's sensitive. I also think he likes the attention. So I think he'd sign up for it in a couple years.
Maybe, yeah. I feel like there's a better one that we're not thinking about.
Well, I think the fun part of LeBron, almost like Brady, is you would get to roast basketball itself because I think you could get Jordan on as a guest. So then they're both there. And I'm sure, like thinking of the basketball players who'd be there with them, like I bet you could get Draymond there. And then you've got all the guest stars that you need. And like, I guess we'll let Dwayne Wade tell some jokes. And so his kid will take a pot shot. But I think that is
JJ Barea come on and kill him one more time.
Yeah, that's right. Manu's there just in case any bats fly on stage.
Think
Pop. You'd have to have Pop as a guest. That'd be killer.
What about a roast of Tim Duncan?
I mean, yes.
There has to be something there.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Just a lot of jokes about how boring he is. So I think that would be good. Well, because who'd be fucking good is Becky Harmon. Becky
Harmon would be good.
Yeah, she'd have some good lines. But yeah, I think there's some basketball players. I mean, Draymond, if he was at that stage, would be a great roast. Again, I'd be most excited about Draymond because it'd be like, oh, sure, Tom Izzo, you could come on. Yeah, no problem.
Here.
Like
you're making fun of him. No shots are coming at you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, what is there to say, Tom, besides your great job, Mr. Sweet 16?
I would enjoy Dwight Howard, but it would get dark pretty fast. I would enjoy it though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in baseball who would like. I don't think A-Rod would be bad. He's the obvious one who would do it. He's a little past his prime. There'd be a lot of J-Lo jokes. But like he'd be the obvious one. I mean, out of current MLB players, like I just don't know. Like obviously the biggest names I don't know are being known for being that funny. So
you could do an Angel Hernandez roast.
I mean, if he'd be open to it, yeah. I mean, there's so many fucking Ohtani jokes now. Like,
oh god, let Ohtani come on, then we'll interpret it for him. Watch his face get just sadder and sadder when the interpreter tells him what's happening.
Yeah, or the interpreter just lies the whole time. That'd be good too. He's just
bring Ipe on to roast Ohtani too.
Yeah. So no, I liked it. I thought it was fun as a concept. I mean, I just not a Tom Brady fan. And I think this says more about the concept than it. I think you can easily duplicate this with other people. I don't think Tom's lightning in a bottle.
You heard it here first. Jake thinks you could do more roasts. Actually, you could have them for other people.
You heard it here first. Jake still thinks Tom Brady's replaceable.
That too.
Won't give it up. But no, I know. Otherwise, okay, if you let's play this game. We love a little game here on the show. If you could tell someone like this is the one sports story we should be talking about this week, what would you point to if you had to point to something?
This week, it's been a pretty boring week.
Mhm.
I mean, to be completely honest, it's sort of what didn't happen that I think we need to be talking about and celebrating. This time last year, Jake, we came on the show and we talked about the death of 7 horses that were not talked about. And the Kentucky Derby just happened. I should have bet it because after reading through the names, Lindsay and I were both like, yeah, Mystic Dan's gonna win this fucking thing. Like, what are we talking about? And of course he did. It was 20-1. From what I know, there is a controversy around the Kentucky Derby, and it's the most dumb controversy. And maybe they should have been a little bit more mad last year. But from what I know, there's no horse deaths, which I think is a big deal. Instead, they're all butthurt because there was a jockey shoving another jockey during the race or something, and a horse leaned on the other one, and they're outraged. In which case, I would like to refer them to last year's episode at this time when 7 horses died. Let's talk about that still, because I still don't think there's anything happened from it other than we filled up a bunch of Elmer's glue bottles. Whoop-de-doo. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that investigation wrapped up too quickly. However long it wrapped
up during the Derby. Like, I went back and rewatched the episode. They did their investigation so quickly, and they said there was no wrongdoing. Really? Because there's horses are still dying. They're still dropping dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good one. I think okay, let's dive into this a little bit more. I can't tell if I want to care about the Kentucky Derby or if I think no one should talk about it ever again.
Second, that's where I'm at.
I think the opinion like I feel like as a young sports fan, there's a lot of opinions you hear and you're like, I don't care how old I'm going to get. I'm never going to buy into that. And it's like, I think some of them I'm still waiting to see if I come around on and adopt. Like, I can't wait for the day in football where I'm like, they just got to run it. So that'll
yeah.
I think the take I'm most surprised has come to me quick is like growing up, I was always like, you know what? The Derby's pretty cool. It's like this one-off yearly thing that's nice. I've fully become the guy of like, why do we fucking care about horses? Horses aren't athletes. Like, I've fully become like when they named Secretariat like the second best athlete of the 90s or the 1900s, and everyone was like, what are you talking about? It's a horse. And I was like, okay, like it's a sports figure. We get it. Now I'm like, which horse is fastest and why do I care? Like, what are we doing?
And the guy who calls the Kentucky Derby was on McAfee today. And
Yeah.
all of these horse people talk about the horses as athletes, as if they have like they're conscious beings. Like, oh, this horse really wanted to win the Kentucky Derby. Did it? Or did it just know it's someone's jabbing a nail in its side and to run forward? Like, we don't know what's going on. It's like, oh, this horse got a little down on itself because it's not good when it has to come from behind. Does the horse know? Like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's horse racing so stupid.
I've been out on horses since Big Brown, to be honest. Like, I just hate that. Like, here's what I don't like. One, it is genuinely hard for me to follow a sport where athletes, if you want to call them that, horses don't fucking come back, especially after last year's Derby. But I mean, even normally it's like one and they're done. So I can't get attached to anybody. And two, there's no historical significance. Like, every year they tell me this is the dream horse. Like,
Yeah.
like, don't. Oh, I can't do it. That is like, yeah, I don't know. It is becoming my old man take, that and like, there's too many fouls in the NBA. Like, so I don't know. Like,
he traveled.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so true. I watch an NBA game now, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Are we not calling any travels tonight? Okay.
Yeah, that is so true. Maybe we should do that sometime, or idea for the ranking show. What is like, who are the worst officials in sports?
Like individual or by sport?
Not individual, because then it's just a one-horse race and that horse is named Angel. But
how dare you?
I think but like as a unit, like I feel like a lot of sports, like every sport, officials and refs get a lot of shit. But it's like, which one is it? Like, no, you ruin the game. Because it's like, I think baseball right now would win, but it's like, I think there were years where it's like, I mean, football refs are just like
Are baseball bad outside of Hernandez?
Well, here's why I think it would lose this year is because it's mainly like 3 or 4 guys, but it's because robots are an option that's literally being tried in the minors. Anytime someone misses one call, they're like, "Way to go, you fucking loser!" Like, so I just think we're it's like the years right before NFL got the instant replay, where it's like, "You
Sure.
stupid fricks, why don't you check the camera just like me? Like, what are we doing?" So I think it would lose for that reason, but I don't think. I mean, listen, the whole thing with umps is like Angel is a terrible, terrible umpire, and he typically gets 82% of his calls right. So
Pretty
and
good.
I mean, yes, for baseball, when the average is 94, terrible. But compare that to honestly, you know who I would throw in the hat? I listen, if you want someone to just watch the game, NCAA March Madness, you can pay me to be there. What it's
Yeah.
close in the last 5 minutes. Fucking get them, boys. Like, what are we doing? Every
Yeah.
March Madness, and that is getting worse with age. And maybe it's because I watched Wisconsin take 6 charges from James Madison before anyone fucking did anything. Like we'd hate to we'd hate. I can't even speak. We'd hate to influence the outcome of a game. Well, guess what, numbnuts? You're doing that right now by not like making a call. It's how drastic the changes are and how they call those games based on the circumstances drives me nuts. At least in the NBA, they're bad all the goddamn time.
That's true. That is true. NBA hasn't been the same without Joey Crawford. He was the one challenging Tim Duncan to fights.
Yeah.
Running up and down the court when there was a charge call. Like, he made it all about him. That motherfucker's the worst.
He is the worst. That's like the NFL without Ed Hockley.
Oh God, he just intimidated everybody.
Big man. No, I know. Is there like what refs make you the most mad? Maybe that's the best way to like put it.
When NFL refs are having one of their days, like you know what I mean? Like it's just insane. It's incomprehensible. Like I don't get it.
They are like they're the one, and this is what I'm saying. It's like baseball's getting to that point, but like NFL is the one set of refs where we were like, maybe we should be able to challenge these fuckers. Like this is like they cost the Saints so bad for a year. We were like, we don't trust you to throw a flag anymore.
Well, then we had the 1 year was like, you can challenge pass interference calls, but then we're going to look at them again and we get to decide. And then they're just like, nope, I'm right. Like, okay, fuck you, dude.
It like came out, they decided after week 2 they were going to go back. And it's like, why are we even doing this then? Like,
yeah, so stupid, so dumb. And I hate like inside 2 minutes. Don't worry. You don't need a challenge. We'll take a look at it. Like, I don't trust you. That's the whole point of the system. The system's wrong.
Correct. I think the thing with baseball umps, like when they're bad, is that there is not a moment where I, as a viewer, do not know better. Because it's like, so that's like what drives me nuts is like baseball this year has been getting a lot of flack for. It's like we have a challenge system. There are things still in the rule book that the umpires were like, you shouldn't be able to challenge that. Leave that to us. Why?
Yeah,
I could challenge everything else. Like this year, it's not challengeable. Was that a foul ball or not?
I mean,
why? Like, and again, 99% of the time doesn't matter. That's why I don't think they can be the worst. But then there'll be moments where it's like, I saw what I saw. Or the umpire a week ago got famous because he kicked out the Yankees manager for something a fan said.
So funny. I heard him. I heard what he said. And even if it wasn't him, he should hold him responsible.
That's right. And afterwards, his quote was basically like, you can't prove it wasn't someone in the dugout. Fuck you. Absolutely go fuck yourself. Also, he like straight up admitted like John Boy's getting too influential. Like he definitely watched the John Boy video before he made his press conference because he was like, well, people think he said this. I didn't say that. Like he didn't comment on what was said until after he saw what the lip reading was. And it's like, asshole, just an absolute fricker. So I don't know, man. That's what I got out of the Kentucky Derby.
In conclusion,
glad more horses survived. I mean, that's good.
7 died last year. Like I'm not over it. 7.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were mysterious. The other 5 again, we know what happened. They had bullet holes in their head. And it wasn't. We talked about it last year. Go back and watch that clip on Flurry Sports, the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. Someone got trigger happy, and it may have been Travis Kelce. Going back and watching it, we may have thrown that accusation out. You know?
That's true. I think the thing in sports people need to be talking about this week is one. I mean, the Twins won 12 in a row, Zach. What a time to be alive.
Holy shit.
But I know. Well, and by the way, that was good enough to bring them just 5 games over 500. It was a really bad start. So here we are.
Okay.
I think the thing in baseball, honestly, that people aren't talking about, last year, we had that fight where the guy got knocked out and everyone went nuts because they're like, this doesn't happen in baseball. It's off the charts this year. We've had 2 brawls in the last 2. That's what I'm saying. And no one's talking about it in the last 2 weeks where it's like people are like actively punching each other. The Brewers got into it with the fucking Mariners. Nope, Rays and Brewers. And one guy fought the whole Brewers team, and somehow he got less games than everyone else because they were like, they should have just left him alone. And it's like, that's stupid. So I almost feel like because the dam got broke last year, it's like we're hitting each other now. Now no one cares. But I do think it's worth a look because unlike other sports, like no one talks about this. Every time there's a fight in baseball, it's like Malice in the Palace. Like everyone on the team is in the fight.
They're just looking for. I mean, honestly, if I'm a baseball player, I'm looking for a way to get engaged because these games are long and they're boring. So if something's happening on the field, I'm gonna go and support my boys. At least I'll throw a punch. I'll pull a Carmelo Anthony and punch someone and run away.
I know a baseball fight is like, where's Waldo? Because it's like they'll be like in the mob, and it's like, what's the assistant manager doing there? Like it's like who's gonna get most? And that was the Brewers one. Was like one of the guys that got kicked out was a fucking starting pitcher who was not playing that day. Which,
really?
Which is why he got suspended so long because he ran all the way in from the bullpen just to get some.
I have a question that a non-baseball fan would ask. I guess, how do you suspend a starting pitcher?
It's a great question. Just normal. So they just suspended him 5 games. And that just means
like team games, right?
Team games. Not so he's good.
so they should be in every fight, of course.
Well, and that's what they were saying. He got suspended 5 games, and the guy on the Rays who definitely started got suspended 3. And everyone was like, how come he only got 3? And it's because we suspended the other guy 5, so he would actually miss a start.
Sure. That's so dumb.
No, I know. But yeah, and it's like amount of games, or it's like the manager got suspended. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like it's like, all right, guess we can't play ball now. Like it's like he's still gonna be in the dugout telling people what to do. So no, it's just I just feel like it's not getting a lot of attention. I feel like baseballs are really chippy right now.
Okay.
Everyone's mad at Angel. I don't know what's going on.
It sounds like baseball is doing everything in their power to earn the fandom of Zach Bruner this year, and I respect it. We'll see what happens. Well, I need a little more Hernandez.
Yes, and I guess the only 2 storylines. Now, this is a segment baseball thing Zach would care about. One, the A's playing surprisingly well.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So are fans going or they're just
not at all? In fact, it made news a couple of weeks ago. A guy who's owned season tickets, I think, for the last 20 years, went out of his way. He bought a ticket to the 81 away games this year.
That's
so fun. Inconvenient. Great fit. So inconvenient. Everyone's like trying to figure out online, like, how rich is this guy? Is he like ruining his life for this or like what's going on? But I mean, what's happening is now that they're close to a move, they're actually trying. So like they're actually trying to see who's good and all these things. Whereas last year they were actively trying to be so bad that they agreed to like just go to fucking Las Vegas. So
is there any chance that they sell the team or no?
No. Because the owner said like, and I somewhat get this. The whole thing is he has been going from this since he bought the team. And like his hope was he could move it and then the new city would give him money he doesn't have so he can run it like a rich team. So this is
that's my hope too.
I mean, so this is what this guy's been going for this whole time. So Yeah, I think it sucks, but it's like I think if he was going to sell it, it would have happened before they agreed to build it in Vegas. So
I disagree. I think once you get now that it's the price of the franchise just went up. Now it's like, okay, we got a
True.
Vegas baseball team.
yeah, I guess yeah, you're right. I mean, it's definitely more lucrative. I guess my thought was on like the cause to buy it would be to keep it in Oakland. So
No
it's
one
like
wants that. Like,
that's
sorry
what
about it.
happened. Someone should have bought it and then been like, and thank you to the people of that's right, San Antonio. You wanted a team.
Honestly, yeah.
Charles Barkley, the big old women.
We'll have big seats for the big old women.
So dumb. And the other thing, I mean, dude, the Angels full on cursed, full on post Shohei. It's the worst thing the worst running of a team that's ever happened in sports.
I know Trout's hurt.
Trout's hurt and like hurt in a way where it's like his career's doomed. Like I just don't ever see him being like he's probably already a Hall of Famer, but if not, like this is his 6th consecutive year where he'll miss more than a month. Like
do you know what the injury is?
Now it's a leg injury.
Like this is so ignorant of me to say, but how do you get hurt playing baseball? Like I truly don't understand, especially that much. It doesn't make sense.
Dun dun dun. They're like being really probably he tore his meniscus. In the least surprising way ever. They're all that's why it sucks in baseball. They're all muscle tears because of just how much they fucking play. They're not like that's what makes them bad is almost none of them are like, oh my God, he got hit by a ball. Like nothing is what happens in the game. It's like I was doing the same thing I've done for the last 9 months and something popped. Like that's like what they all are. And I would also say over half of the injuries are pitching related, and that's just let me whip my arm at 90 miles an hour every day and see what happens.
Since I'm 12, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, more injuries this year, and they're like, you know who the blame it is? I think it's the pitch clock. And I'm like, I think it's that the velocity is raised about 5 miles an hour in the last 3 years.
Let's slow the games back down.
Baseball, get out of your own fucking way. I hate it so much. But no, the Angels are like that, and everyone's like giving them a pass for Shohei because he got hurt. And it's like, no, that's the worst decision the team's ever made is to not trade him. It's crazy to me.
Is Shohei hurt now, or are you saying last year?
Last year he got hurt on the Angels. Right. So everyone's like, oh, you can't judge him because they thought he was going to be healthy the whole year. No, they can absolutely go fuck themselves. They should have traded him for sure. Yeah.
Well, if they leave, if the player leaves, then yes, you should have traded him. It's the same thing for T. Higgins this year. If the Bengals don't trade him, he's going to leave, and then that's their fault. You know what I mean?
It's like, listen, I know it's always hindsight 2020. He literally went to a team that shares a stadium, a staff, and paid him way more. Like, what did they think was you could be better, well paid, and literally change nothing about your life, but you could be loyal. Like that might be nice. What if you were loyal? So I just like I never understood. I don't get it now. My real sports thing, and maybe we transition to this. Zach, you know what? It's in the air and it smells like. Do you smell that? Does that smell like? I almost said Teen Spirit for no fucking reason. Does that smell like Teen Spirit? It smells a little like maybe Lincoln Park or maybe. I don't know, the second term of the Bush administration, because is it 2004? The Timberwolves good again, dude. The long walk for that, but I mean,
it was
real. I can't. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, KG, is that you? No, it's Anthony Edwards, dude. I'm in on this. LeBron's out. The NBA is like all I've wanted in the NBA is for it to be up for grabs, and so good. I really wish people treated Jokic like he wasn't a fucking joke, but like, what are you gonna do? He's Serbian, I guess. So we got to laugh at him.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't watched a second of NBA playoff basketball, but I should, because of your point. Like LeBron out, Timberwolves clearly the best defensive team left, which is why they have a chance to win it all. and they're up 1-0 over the Nuggets, so reigning champs. The Celtics have been dominating the East, and the whole thing I've heard all fucking years, like if the Celtics don't make the finals, it would be a surprise, and that's why truly I've been like super out. But I know Porzingis got hurt, so if he's out for a long time and the Celtics lose, then I'm into it. I need the Celtics to lose or look like they're going to lose for me to get excited. Because if the Celtics are in the NBA Finals, I'll root against them, obviously, but it's just not interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because you're a tangential Celtics fan. So, but I suppose there's like no one to like root for them against. Like I guess Nuggets, but that'd be the only case where I'm probably rooting for them. For the Celtics, that is. I think with the 8 teams left, I think to your point, I want one of two things to happen. I want either I kind of want like as wrestling fans, like those weird months where WWE is like, let's give you 4 people who've never fucking done anything. And I'd kind of like that if we could somehow get like a Timberwolves, Thunder, Cavs, Knicks.
Oh, like the final I want is Timberwolves Cavs. I want Mitchell versus Gobert.
Yeah, and
that's
by the
what
way,
I want.
Pacers, get out of here. I need the Knicks to keep going. I feel like they're kind of sustaining my interest.
Who I like Halliburton, but truly, who gives a fuck about the Pacers? Get out of here. And they play the Knicks, I think.
Yeah.
Remind me not to watch a second of. I guarantee nobody watches a single second of that series.
No.
I'll say that right now. I'm positive.
And like, I hope it's good because the Knicks games have been fun to follow and watch. But like, we could add Bucks Knicks, and I feel like that would have been so fun. But
yeah,
I also think
too, by the way, Bucks need to grow up. Giannis, if you're good, play.
That was crazy. No one played. I just don't understand. No. I don't get it. And NBA,
we'll get him next year, boys.
It doesn't work. Stop doing the thing where it's like maybe he'll play. Everyone does that.
2 years ago, I think or maybe 3 years ago, Kawhi tore his ACL and no one was talking about it. And on the show, we're like, he will not be playing, but he is day to day. That was a torn ACL.
Ever since Kawhi, it is his fault. Ever since Kawhi, it's like Giannis is missing an arm, but he's questionable today. Like it's like, what are you talking about? So
he's getting close to playing.
Yeah, I know. Okay, out of the matchups left, the West is funky because I feel like I don't really want like a mix-up of these matchups. I either want Thunder T-Wolves or I want Mavs Nuggets.
I really don't care about the Mavs at all.
No, but you'd get Luka Jokic.
Which I don't care about. I like the Nuggets and the Thunder, I think are fun because just like, why are they here and why are they good?
Yeah. I think Thunder T-Wolves is like a future of the league thing, which could be good.
It is. I love Anthony Edwards. If he could go out there by himself and nobody else is there, that's great. Also, I truly have no idea what happened here. The Timberwolves coach like tore his ACL or something on the sideline. What happened?
I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll look that up. But that's okay. What coach injuries come to mind?
I mean, I don't know any other ones. I remember Jeff Van Gundy getting dragged when he was a coach for the Knicks.
That one. I remember who was the guy for like the dinky team in the March Madness tournament where he fell off his stool, like he broke a leg and then he like fell off celebrating.
Oh yeah. I don't remember. Or what was that, a Providence coach?
Oh my God, he got hurt after colliding with Mike Conley.
Mike Conley, bad guy. That's what I've said it since day one.
That's what everyone says about him, to be fair. Bad dude.
I'm a little sad that that's the case because in my mind, it for sure was Rudy Gobert. Like there was no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Cat, yeah, he doesn't know where the fuck he is. Another coach, I guess, Paterno got like destroyed his knee, right? On the sideline.
He destroyed his knee. There's that Jimbo Fisher pulled the muscle being chased around the field by a Gatorade bath. That was good.
Right.
Yeah, it's a memory that I didn't know I still had in there, but that was a good one. No, so I mean those matchups, honestly, on the east side, like I want the Cavs there. That would be so like Cavs Knicks fun. As long as but that's the thing, is then they would go ahead and win it. I'm all in. I can take it at this point because their fan base is on fire, and I think it'd be fun. If the Knicks beat the Celtics, I think
That'd be great.
it'd be awesome. I don't know. Like, I feel like then they get to the finals and it's like, and now they play the T-Wolves. Like, who do they play on the other side that feels that big? I don't, like, maybe the Nuggets, but like, I don't know. There's no big franchise left on the other side. So that's where it gets.
This might be, it's a dumb thing. I'll say what I was thinking. I was going to say, are there really that big of superstars left? And I guess there are.
Yeah.
But like Jokic is a superstar. Just no one really cares.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is getting pushed as a superstar, but he's not one yet. And then I guess Jason Tatum is yet, but I don't know what real NBA fans think, but that dude's a pussy. He's not what you think he is. If you think he's great.
2004, that word kind of caught me by surprise.
I mean, saying it like the dude's from Duke. Like,
I mean, I hate him. I'm not saying anything about it. It took me off guard. Like, I was like, yeah, dude, you're right. Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing the same thing. Like, they're trying like hell. It's like Brunson's the man, and it's like I know, but like we're getting
Brunson's
there.
Averaging so many points. Cool.
Is Mitchell the second biggest? The one you haven't said. I think third biggest, because I think you'd put Jokic as top 3. I mean, Luka is the biggest star left.
Yeah. By the way, who cares? Whiner, don't care.
He's like, I don't know. I feel like he's the internet's baby boy, but I'm here for Mitchell.
Still?
Oh, dude, I can't believe we didn't see it. Okay, first off, I'm not a big enough NBA fan. Mitchell is still playing for the Cavs, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Then, oh my God, and Kevin Love's with the Cavs?
I think so.
Dude, Cavs, T-Wolves.
I already said I want Mitchell Gobert. That's the matchup I want.
Okay, well, it just hit me. It's like a epiphany no one prepared me for.
Yeah, that's the only thing I want. That's it.
Don't worry, Zach. I came up with that idea on my own, independent of the same idea you had 10 minutes ago. I heard you and was like,
right.
Yeah, sure, let him fight. Like, I didn't like do the math of like teams. No, you're right. 100%. Cavs Timberwolves would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if that many people would care, but I know we would. We would be very
invested. Make a video about it. Maybe we'll go viral. But bring us there. By the way, right. I will be so. Oh, what will I do? Because I'll be the only one who's like, fuck you, Kevin Love. I haven't gotten over it. You traitor. Like, it's like he hurt me so personally. And everyone else will be like, yeah, Mitchell, beat Gobert. Like, it'd be weirdly invested for Jazz fans. And
true.
Like,
that's true.
2000s T-Wolves fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure if Kevin Love's there. I think he is. I haven't heard his name in 3 years.
Kevin Love. Okay. He. Why is it taking so long?
Live research on this show.
Yeah, he is.
No, he plays for the Heat. He plays for the Heat. Okay.
Fuck. I'm out. Never mind.
Now we don't care. And that's it. That's it.
I would take if Boston had to play somebody, give me Boston Thunder. I think that's a little fun. Just like this really young team.
If the Thunder win the finals, I'll stop watching NBA forever.
What? You're not a Chet boy?
First off, no. But second off, like, I'll root for the Thunder if they're in the finals. It's just if it actually happens, the whole thing's a joke to me. Like, I wouldn't be able to take the NBA series ever again.
Come on. Oh, I don't know. That's just like, I feel like what my friend who is a Yankees fan, I was like, the Twins won 12 in a row. And they're like, whoop-de fucking dude. And I'm like, hey, leave me alone. We're a real team. We try.
The Yankees won 12 in a row this year?
They probably do it every year.
Oh, okay.
By the way, this is our second longest win streak all time.
Really?
Yeah.
This is actually historic. This is stupid.
Yeah, it's really historic. Our top, by the way, 15. Like not that much longer. You know what we
We're
did that
almost
year
there.
though? Won the whole goddamn thing.
Wow. I mean, sounds like the play-by-play guy was right in your cameo.
He was right. But once we figure it out, we're on a roll. He really went rogue on that, but that is good. I think, those are the big sports stories to me. I will say this. Yes, give it to me.
Okay, so we came into the show, nothing prepared, nothing to talk about. I had one thing I actually want to ask.
Oh,
it's
great.
about wrestling.
I'm in.
Can we talk about wrestling?
Yep.
So, what's the Wyatt Six? What's going on?
If that's gonna fucking happen. Okay, so I'm literally googling it right now to see like, is this gonna happen? Because everyone was like,
well, they've been playing shit like after shows, right? Like they're not just gonna tease and do nothing.
They're
right?
not. But like, here's what I'm saying is like, I'm always like with WWE, like they don't really do everything year round. Like, so it's like they didn't do it at the draft. They didn't do it night after Mania. And
the draft, by the way, is so fun. I saw fucking Devon Dudley in the War Room for, I think, SmackDown. That's incredible.
It is fun. I have like, here's my thing with the draft. Okay, one thing at a time. Draft and then back to the Wyatt Six.
Okay, yeah.
I just wish they watched a draft like any other draft. Like, why can't we just do it a little better and more legit? Like, you're already have people picking. We've got hats. We've got color. We've got all the parts of the actual draft that don't matter. You can't give me a fucking like order sheet. Tell me who's up for grabs because some people get drafted, some people don't. I don't understand the order of it. You can pick a team that's got 5 people in it. You just pull them over.
I did see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Champions can't be moved, I guess, unless you want them to be. Like, we're so close. Can you just like give me a fucking order of it?
That's my ideal draft where like they're truly making up rules as it goes. I didn't watch any of it. I actually need to go back and watch it, I think. But what I want I want WWE to truly like pretend it's a real sport.
Yes.
No, I think they're doing great already. Like I think the draft is a good start. I want them to have trades. Can we start trading between shows and stuff?
So this was the big annoyance for me is like the actual point of a draft is to take people from things that already exist. The bummer to me was all summer, Zach. They did do trades. The one guy was like that Jade Cargill. It's like she was a free agent. We signed her. CM Punk, a free agent. We signed him. Oh, and they were like, we made all these big moves. You know what happened in the draft? They got fucking moved anyway. Like, so it's like that guy looked like a fucking snub because the other dude just get to take all of his people. So I think, just like more trades, make the GMs look like they actually have a job to do. Like, just
I'm not even talking about like draft day trades. I just mean like I want it. Yeah, I want it to be like in June. All of a sudden, it's like holy shit, Cody Rhodes got traded to SmackDown tonight for like. I want there to be like an Adam Schefter of the WWE to like be reporting these trades as if they're real things. Like holy shit, can you believe they pulled off this trade? Like stuff like that.
Honestly, here's what I want from the draft. I just want it to be trades and call-ups from NXT. And just do more trades. Like you're basically doing trades anyway.
They should be able to do like, I mean, they could really get super into it and also be like if they're call-ups from NXT and stuff, like you could show like film. Like show their previous matches and shit.
Well, some of them they had up in the weeks prior doing. I liked what they did with NXT. They had like basically exhibition matches so that like it was like in kayfabe, like they were deciding who was going to draft them. And they were almost like scouting them, which also is smart because then the audience gets to see them in case they don't watch NXT. But they can do promo videos. They even had a clip where it's like the NXT people were all sitting on fucking folding chairs and they were like, "It's her." She put a hat on. She was crying, and it's like, good. That's good. What I don't like, and I get why they do it, because for you, I feel like they're just adjusting. Like, I wish sometimes they almost went back to McMahon batshit crazy, where it's just like, we traded you because fuck you. That's why. Like, because now half the time they trade people with their logic, since anyone can be drafted, they draft people they want you to know they value. So they don't move them shows, but it's like Jade Cargill and like Bianca Belair, they were like first overall, but they stayed. And I get why they did that, because they wanted you as an audience member to know they're the shit, right? Like they're the one we care about the most. We don't want to move them. Well, if you're not going to move them, like the only thing with that is like, I'm excited about people moving. That's the whole thing of a draft. Like, you know who the like, it's like, come out the Jets number 1 overall pick. That's right, Aaron Rodgers.
He's our favorite.
Yeah, it's like Mahomes back to the Chiefs, still very good. Like, it's like, we get it. They're good. I just wish they could cut that out. Just do trades. I don't care who's staying. Just move them a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, there should be some way where it's like top half of the roster stays the same or something.
Like maybe in the weeks leading up. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Or like there's like everyone's in a match in the month leading up, and if you lose the match, you're available. Something. Yeah, like tell me who's up for grabs.
You can have storylines for that too. Like you could have people throwing matches. That's fun.
Someone's mad they didn't get drafted. There's a bunch of shit. Someone's mad that someone got taken before them. There's a lot to your point, I just am like, we're so close to taking this seriously. Can we just do it a little bit more? All that said, the Wyatt Six didn't happen then. They're still actively teasing it. So here's why I'm a little like, the Wyatt Six is because timeline wise, I feel like we're not getting them until SummerSlam. So see you in August, because otherwise they just randomly debut at Money in the Bank, I guess, which feels weird. But maybe that's
how he could get the Money in the Bank.
True. So here's all the Wyatt Sixes, which is it is a tribute to Bray, but basically the Wyatt Six is the prediction of where everyone thought Bray was going before his untimely passing, because Uncle Howdy was going to be the first one, but before Bray was released the first time, he had puppets, and if you counted them up, it got you to 6. So Uncle Howdy plus the 5 puppets. And the biggest teaser is when he came back and his awesome return. It cut through the crowd, and there was like people standing in the crowd, like in costume. And people think that was like a symbol of like those people would eventually join. So that's what the Wyatt Six is it's a faction for Bray that they never got to explore, because he passed after what was supposed to be like he fought Uncle Howdy, and I think the prediction then was after that he like was going to go downhill and just get more crazy.
Sure.
Now it seems like they're going to bring it back, obviously sans Ray. So Uncle Howdy is Bray's real life brother. Actually, yep. Bo Dallas, but real life, brother to Wyndham Rotunda, who passed. So that's kind of the idea of it, and why it's cool is like, and WWE just actually released an awesome documentary, and in it they very much teased that like the last shot of the documentary is Bo Dallas putting on this kind of fucking sick costume. Also, like, this is a weird tone change for this movie, but I
need to watch that.
Yeah, it's very sad, but it's very good. And basically like the dream lives on. And so, they've been teasing that. I also would like it because Bo is great. He definitely he was the second champion ever in NXT, and Vince just didn't get him. He was literally his gimmick was that he was a motivational speaker that like only believed in himself. Like, which is just very good. Like, he went around, it was basically Jamie Tart. Like, he was just going around and be like, me. So, I wish he got more rub, and I hope he can do something with it. But that's the whole thing. But yeah, they're like playing spooky shit at shows. They're literally like, they've signed people who haven't re-debuted, who are very clearly like Alexa Bliss is probably going to be part of this. Maybe Braun.
I saw a name that was like, just thinking back at your NXT articles, there was like a serial killer guy. I think it was that name.
Yeah, he was in there. Dexter Loomis, who's still signed the company, that serial killer guy. They re-signed Eric Rowan, who was one of like the original Wyatt family members. So he's rumored in there. Braun just came back. So everyone's like, is he like, that could be the first storyline, is like they want Braun as part of the 6 and he doesn't necessarily want to do that right away and then joins. So
Okay.
yeah, I think what will be interesting is some of the people who were under those costumes that people thought at first would like be there were just other WWE stars who like aren't related at all. They just needed people under costumes. So I don't like, one of them
Yeah.
was Grayson Waller.
Okay. Okay.
Like, it's like, I don't think he's gonna join. So yeah, but listen, I'm all for them choosing to honor Bray and like do something with it. I think could be cool. I also think WWE's better when there's some spooky nonsense going
For whatever
on.
reason, like I saw like a little bit of the Bray thing when I got back into wrestling.
Yeah.
This, for whatever reason, is the coolest storyline for me. It's so fucking weird and different that
Yeah.
what Bray was doing, like the Funhouse shit was awesome, I thought.
So good. And like, to your point, so different. I think and I was surprised how, again, to plug a movie that I'm sure people who care have seen or will see. So probably speaking, maybe no one, but one of the things I loved about that I did not think I'd get is Triple H especially was very honest, which I liked, which was very glowing about Bray and was obviously very hurt by his loss, but was very honestly reflective of like just the world's best ideas. And then how do you want to put that in a ring? No idea. Like that was
Sure.
and I feel like that was always the thing. Like Triple H literally says in there, he's like, I mean, eventually the bell's going to ring. And like, then what do you do? But the part which I liked, which he was alluding to, he also talked about like, it's hard to work with someone who's that goddamn creative and like brilliant, because he's like, as much as he wasn't supported in the previous regime, he's like, also he kept coming up with new fucking ideas every week, and he's like, and now there's a rabbit who like, and it's like, break, can we just like maybe cyclone in a little bit? So that, but what I like and what I'm most excited about, to your point, is my favorite part of the storyline is I thought it had so much room to grow, and Triple H said that of like, I have no doubt in my mind we would have figured it out. Like, he was like, I was excited to like, he's like, okay, no one liked the Mountain Dew Pitch Black Max. We had another, like, it's like, we were fine. Yeah. Like, and that being his last match stinks, but it's like, his return is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in wrestling. It's so good. And what I'm bummed by is we didn't get to see where I thought the storyline was actually going, which is, I think, yes, he would have given in to all the spooky stuff. I thought his promo coming back, I think eventually we were going to get to him like choosing to just be him. And I thought that was such a cool like storyline. And like Cult Leader Bray is one of my favorite. Like, that's what got me into NXT. So I'm all for it, like I said, and I think I'm going to be a fan of the people in that group. What makes me a little nervous, to your point of like, what the fuck's going on? I think they love the idea of paying tribute to Bray. I don't know if they figured out what that group is going to do in the company. Like, what is their ambition? I don't know. Honestly, I've been thinking about doing like a fantasy booking for it, because it's like probably the thing, to your point, I care about the most in terms of a storyline of like, this would be cool to see. But yeah, I don't know. I think also though, I think the thing with Bray was like, and maybe they'll do it right with this character, is like, I thought it was at the best when it's like, he also didn't take himself too seriously. Like the Fun House, he was having so much fun. I mean, as much as the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match sucked, it literally turned LA Knight into the most popular guy on the roster. So it, like, that was the other criticism, and that's died since, because that match and that feud went so well, is they were like, well, when has Bray ever helped someone get over? I mean, there you go. I mean, LA Knight never looked back after it, and he lost, like, and was still like that big. So I think very clearly fan support was there, but that's what's happening with the Wyatt Six. But how do you feel about like, what I do like about is like WWE continues to be like creative and almost like boundary pushing with like, we're going to have songs between shows, and we're going to cut out of like commercial early, and we're going to like put QR codes up. Yeah, I think it's very smart.
Like it's so, when they first did it, I'm sure it's so fucking risky to like have content that's not on air. But like once realize, and truly, like, from what I've gathered from everything, I think McAfee was actually a big part of this, where it's like you can destroy on social and everybody watches social media stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they figured out how to power social media, and that's all you need to do. And honestly, the other league that has actually done that is the NBA. So,
Yeah.
like, you can really push a lot of things with social media. That's not a crazy statement, but in terms of like, yes, like storytelling wise, like they're driving plot lines through just things that were after the show, and they're trusting that people in the audience are going to record it and upload it, and then hundreds of thousands of millions of people are just going to see it on Twitter or on YouTube and stuff. It's actually insane. And I wonder, like, what else can do that? Like, what is another thing that could harness that same, like, I don't know if there's anything else that really is on par with what professional wrestling does where it makes sense to do that.
In sports, nothing. I think the only thing that is equivalent, and again, I feel like we've kind of talked about this. I feel like I'm attuned to this just because of my specific relationship, and you'll get it too because you and Lindsay are into the same shit we are. Bravo is the only other thing that
Sure.
does it, where it's like their teasers for like episodes in the middle of a season get millions of views. Like
Yeah.
more people watch the teasers and shit for the shows than watch the shows. And I think like the
Mhm.
other big comparison, because this is always, to your point, the thing I don't think people get about wrestling is all the things people says it is. It is way more popular than people think it is, to the point
For
where
sure.
it is always the number one trending thing on Twitter.
Mhm.
Any time there's a wrestling show, it is, because that's what wrestling, because one, wrestling fans don't group up in public. So
That's true.
they're
Yeah.
only on social media. Similarly, I would say to like housewives and shit. Like, did you
Sure.
just see that? Da, 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 da. So it's always trending. It's also like, I don't know about other fandoms where it's like it is more fun to talk about wrestling sometimes than it is to watch wrestling.
100%. Predicting what's going
So
to happen, who's going to win, what's going to happen, what's the storyline going to do. For sure, it's way more exciting.
yeah, it's like for years it was like that was the joke of like, if you could fix one thing on Raw, what would it be? Well, the women's division, or Vince McMahon doesn't know how to push people. I'd like it to be not 3 hours. That's what I would like it to be. Like, it's like
Yeah.
when I wrote articles weekly about it, it was like the best episode of wrestling. I still would be like, I don't know if I can recommend this to someone, because it's like in a 3-hour show, like maybe 2 hours of it were good. Like, it's like, and now I think WWE is realizing that like what you need to do is make it feel fast. Like, not everything has
Yeah.
to be substantial. In fact, you have to get to the big stuff faster. And
Yeah.
like the filler can't kill you. Like, that's the big thing, is I don't care how good your big segment is, because I will not watch the whole show if the rest of the stuff
Mhm.
is unbearable or like just
Right.
repeat, which they used to do all the time. Is they're like, well, no one cares about this filler stuff, so it's just going to be the same thing you saw last week.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm trying to watch it every fucking week. So I don't think there's something like that. The sport, I think, honestly, and I know it's my favorite sport, so I go here a lot, but it's like baseball season is so fucking long that it's like, if they could better understand socials, and like what I wish they did was more like single player compilations from a game. Like, I wish
Sure.
I could
Oh, yeah.
know what Shohei did in a game. Like,
Yeah.
not one home run highlight, but it's like, did you see what Shohei did? Like, I wish sports embraced what WWE did, which is people don't watch our shit, and that's okay, because they
Yeah.
will when we make them pay for it. And I know that's a different structure than sports have, so maybe it won't work, because in WWE it's like, that's why they made the network, because it's like they'll buy our network to get the pay-per-views,
Yeah.
and we don't have to worry about the like week to week stuff. Like, cable will pay for us because they'll get big pops every once in a while.
Mhm.
And sports, I don't know if they can do that, but it's like, I've always liked that about WWE. It's like, that's the weirdest thing I think sometimes is I very rarely, now that especially that I don't cover it in a weekly article, watch a full episode of wrestling every week. I listen to a wrestling podcast every day to
Sure.
see what happened in the shows I chose not to watch.
Right.
It's also
Yeah,
why John Boy is taking over sports because they're doing that for baseball.
right, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you're comparing it to Bravo for sure makes a lot of sense. Bravo is its own universe in the same way
Yeah.
WWE is. But yeah, I think the way WWE even just exists, we've talked about it a million ways. Wrestling fans have talked about it a million ways with non-wrestling fans. Like, why do you like wrestling if it's fake?
Mhm.
And everyone always wants to compare it to sports. It really is reality TV. I think
Yeah.
that's the actual thing. Because we've always talked about like it's super athletic, super like it's entertaining
Yeah.
to watch, and then there's storylines like a movie. But it isn't that. It's actually reality TV, I think.
Someone said this in one of the things I was watching, which is so true, is like while wrestling can be athletic, like you're saying, I think the athleticism works best when you are watching and it goes, God damn, that was like athletic. Like you
Oh,
don't
of
want
course. Yeah,
it to
yeah.
be that, but it like blows you away. Because
Yeah.
it's scripted. And I mean, I don't mind saying fake. It's like fake in a lot of ways. Like the tables and chairs, all of that stuff is rigged, obviously. So it's somewhat real. But like
Yeah.
uh that said, I think the best moments are like, holy shit, like where did that come from? So I don't
Yeah.
think you can watch it if your expectation is they are going to blow me away with like what the moves look like or this all the time. I think you have to go in and be
Right.
like, honestly, I think like you get this and I get this. Like, I think wrestling works best when you also understand that sometimes it's fucking terrible.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
and so it's
That's
like, and
sometimes the best shit.
yes, and like you're still entertained by it. Like I think that's the part
Yeah.
that honestly I've come to appreciate about Bravo is like this is
Yeah, a lot of
fucking
terrible stuff.
terrible and it's like I
Yeah.
can't stop watching it. Like it's
Of
like what
course.
why is everyone so mad about this?
Right.
I mean take reality TV for example. You know, I think Scandival blew up and I feel like Scandival is like the comparison would be like Rock Austin. Like it is like wrestling cannot get better than this. I don't think
Yeah.
reality TV can get better than this. I think the mistake is for Bravo to like search for that and everything because the whole thing is you cannot replicate that. But give me an
Right.
episode where Schwartz is trying to hit on a lesbian and it's like, I'm back,
Yeah.
baby. It's so stupid. Like it's like that's the stuff that I watch like week to week. It's like when WWE was terrible, people always used to ask me like how you watch. Well, I just watched Titus O'Neil run down to the Royal Rumble and slide under the ring because he tripped. And it's like
Great.
could have got that if I wasn't watching. Like it's like that's awesome. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely there. I think to your point about the socials and things with sports, I think to take it into a very, and I don't mean to like be a Debbie Downer because I feel like this is like meaty sports content. I think it gets to the root of the question that sports are going to have to reckon with, which is sports fans are going to be in for a rude awakening, I think, when it comes to how we're going to be able to watch our sports.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's coming soon. And I
Yep.
think like as much as we for years been like MLB should get rid of their blackouts, I think every sport is moving to their version of blackouts.
Mhm.
Where you'll have to pay to watch specific teams, or at the very least, like the NFL, you'll have to have 4 things to watch all the games.
Right.
What I hope those sports realize is you need to cover those gaps. Like, and not only should you, but it's very profitable for you to do so. Like the NFL could make more money without people watching every game if they just had the stuff people cared about on socials.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. But I mean, is what it is. I like what you said before about what baseball should do in terms of just show me what Shohei Ohtani did in an individual game. And
Yeah.
I think people need or leagues need to start realizing too, this new generation of sports fans don't really care about teams.
Yeah.
Like that's what
No.
hockey really needs to fucking figure it out, where it's like if you can get people rooting for individual players and build up individual player brands,
Yeah.
like that would be incredible. Hockey's obvious because we don't know who the fuck plays that sport. But like baseball too, is like if you give me one guy who is the shit, he's funny as hell, tell me what his walk-up song is, like
Yeah.
do all that shit, that's exciting. I think they need to, well, I don't think baseball cares enough about marketing its closers, by the way. And maybe there's not enough good ones, but I think that would be a super fun thing to market.
I think so too. Well, I think what every sport and baseball especially needs to realize, you know what is still awesome? Press conferences. Press conferences
Yeah.
are good. No one fucking watches them. And then when you post clips, you post a whole conference or like
Right.
the answer to a thing. And you've got to give me what WWE does, which is here's this social media promo. Like it's one thing, one guy, and I'm in. And that's like the best thing I saw from NBA all season is the fucking what I think French, the Raptors coach was like, we have been robbed. Like he's just so pissed at the refs. Like, give me that's awesome. Like, that's all the socials need to be. And for closers, MLB has started to do this. They're just not putting in the right place. They've started some like mic up players and things. Just give me a clip of all the mic a closer for the whole game. Put that all on social media.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
Like, yeah, I think sports takes for granted that people will follow whatever they do. And I think they could do a better job of like, how about you build it just a little fucking bit? Because it's like, I think like NHL does that where it's like, well, if you're a Wild fan, you'll buy a Wild jersey. And it's like, well, shouldn't you like tell me which one to get? Or like, and sometimes I like this about hockey, but it's like, you know what Wild jersey I would get? I guess Kaprizov. Why? Because he's the best player. Like all I care about is like their overall on shell. Like it's like, I guess they're the most talented player. And it's like everywhere else, it's like, are they funny? Like, do I like them? Like, it's like hockey doesn't do English? That at all. Yes, 100%. Honestly, NBA, as much as a good job as they do on socials, they do that a little bit too of like, this guy's really good. And a lot of the times they get lucky that they're really good guys have good personalities. Like Jokic and Luka are great to watch and like funny, but it's like, you know, you mentioned him earlier. You know who shouldn't be the most popular player on the Celtics? Tatum. But he is just because he's probably their best by talent. But it's like if they had paid more attention to Marcus Smart when he was there.
Yeah, they easily could have made Marcus Smart something big. There's going to be people listening to this who hate Marcus Smart and think he's bad at basketball. And I'm letting you know that doesn't even matter in this conversation.
Well, by the way, you know who's like that? And he just wormed his way in there was Draymond.
Right. Draymond is, it's weird. He's one of the most popular players in the NBA. And people are like, oh, no, he sucks. Or, oh, I hate that guy. He is one of the most popular players across all of sports right now. And it's weird. He shouldn't be, but he is.
You know who should actually be in charge of it? And this will be my last point, then we can get out of here. Of the NBA's marketing is fucking Steve Kerr. Because he gets it. Like, that's the reason. Yeah. The reason Draymond got so popular is because he was taking the flack for Curry and the other scrub. I can't remember his name.
Klay Thompson.
That fucking bum.
He is a bum.
Like, honestly, and it was like everyone's hating him and they didn't know how to handle it and everything. It's like, okay, we're just going to let Draymond talk to everybody and like prop him up. And it's like, and then Draymond's in there being like, well, because there's three of us, we're great. It's like 3 of you. And then we were mad at Draymond and it worked like a charm. And so I like NBA, honestly, and Kerr's, I mean, electric on the mic anyway, but it's like, they got to do more stuff like that where it's like, I don't care. That honestly, you know who should be the star of the Bucks? Like in the perfect world, it's like Giannis jersey should be all through the roof because he's so nice and so good at basketball. And then it should be Bobby Portis.
Honestly, and he's like the cult favorite. I'm not sure if he still is, but he was for.
That's the thing. Like they're there. It's just not amped up by the league. Like we'd buy Portis jerseys if they just gave us a little love. It's like, there's clips around him going online calling for the ball by making bird sounds. You can't run with that. God. Like, it's so good. Why don't
we're too busy yelling at Patrick Beverly for saying we should listen to his podcast. By the way, I get it. I tried it too. No one wants to listen to your podcast when you talk about it.
Yeah.
He's got to learn that.
That is so true. All right, Zach, lastly, we close the show. Any pop culture things you want to talk about? The Met Gala is happening. Any opinions on the Met Gala?
I am not 100% sure what that is. I understand it's talked about a lot. So that's all it is. I wasn't sure. I know. I think I saw this year's theme is pajama party or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just my simplified version of what they said. I don't get it. I'm not sure. I don't understand. What's the point of a fashion show, by the way? Maybe we should get into that. I don't understand the point of
So
it.
close. We're gonna end the show on things we don't understand. Number one,
Yeah.
women. No, I think that's a
Like, are they selling anything? I don't understand what's going on.
The fashion show is to promote fashion brands. Met Gala is, to be honest, just a fucking spectacle. And I'm not hating on it. I actually think it's quite the flex. Literally what it is to promote designers. But this was explained to me tonight by Claire. It is a fashion show, basically, where designers invite celebrities to wear, like, there's a theme and they design these wild fucking things for them to wear. And the proceeds for, like, the money they get from people watching and different things goes to the Met Museum, the Metropolitan Art Museum. So it's a fundraiser turned celebrity spectacle, because the reason people watch it isn't just for the fashion, it's because Olivia Rodrigo's wearing it or the Kardashians are there. Like, that's like, it's the celebrity Super Bowl.
But even still, first off, no one knows what designer they're wearing until you tell them, which that's why Ralph Lauren or whatever figured it out by putting that polo guy right there. Like, then it's like, oh, boom. Or Nike. Hey, swoosh. You're wearing Nike. I get it.
Marketing.
But aren't they wearing like $10,000? Like, they're not wearing shit that people are buying, right?
No, that's the Met Gala is not like a normal fashion show. The Met Gala is like, it is literally, who's fundraising is the celebrities who themselves are going to it. Like, it is PR for the celebs and it is free fundraising for the museum.
Okay.
So,
but even still, like a normal fashion show, are they wearing things people are actually buying? Or are they wearing things by a designer who also has things that your poor ass can buy?
Depends on the fashion show. Like the Victoria's Secret fashion show, they will be wearing something you can buy also, along with feathers and like a bunch of shit you can't buy. I think the idea with most fashion shows, oh my God, by the way, do you ever have a moment where you just like wake up and you're like, why am I talking about this? Because I just had that moment where I'm like, I don't feel like an expert at this. My understanding is that, like, you like the idea of the show and you like what they wear, so you will buy things by that brand. Maybe you don't buy that specific thing from Dolce & Gabbana, but you will buy something else. By the way, not Dolce & Gabbana, I meant Gucci. Dolce & Gabbana is a little more my brand.
Yeah.
I can afford it. Yeah.
Is there any like Nike quarter zip and a fashion show? Because then I'm in. I'm
it's like, just Bill Belichick in a pullover.
Yeah, I would love to see what they're debuting. There's these new Under Armour shoes that you can fold the bottom down so there's slides and they come back up. I'd love to see those in a fashion show. I want a pair of those.
Listen, sometimes I think it's cool. And I say that as someone who literally left the living room today because I was like, I'm going to let you watch this because I'm going to have a hard time not making fun of some of these outfits. And I've learned that is not always what our partners want, is just a comedy routine. Because I was in there like,
yeah,
she looks like a Teletubby. She looks like an Oompa Loompa. And I was like, maybe this isn't what you want. Okay, I'm leaving.
I see. No one else is getting my humor here. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, by the way, she did look like an Oompa Loompa. I nailed that one.
Hey, that's impressive too.
That's right. It's its own kind of skill. Put me on the red carpet. Wouldn't know who anyone goddamn is, and I don't know why you're dressed like a tree.
Yeah, this looks terrible. Who are you wearing? Because we should shame them.
Come from the Osmond brand of clothing, which are those boots steel toe? They're all
just stomping on people's toes. Oh, not steel toe, huh? Okay.
Oh my God. Well, it's like, okay, and hopefully this isn't, oh man, I just realized what I'm talking about, but it is funny. So last week, Zach and I had a family thing where we had to dress up. I won't say what it was, but I had to dress up for it. And
yep. That's the notable part.
Yeah, notable part. And going to it, and I was like, okay, I've got this suit coat, but it's gray. And but I've got this floral tie I want to wear. And Claire goes, well, you could wear the floral tie with this bright blue shirt because it goes well, or you could wear this floral shirt with this gray suit coat. And I went, why can't I just wear the suit coat over the normal colored shirt and the tie? Like, why can't it all go together? And she goes, well, because very light blue doesn't go with very light gray. And I called the one person I knew who would have my back, which is Pete Osmond. And Pete goes, I was like, Clay doesn't think I can wear these things together. And he legitimately went, is there a hole in the shirt? And I said, no. And
that's all that matters. Yeah.
He's like, is it stained? Nope. Good to go. And then, of course, she got back up. She goes, put Emily on the phone. She's like, yeah, you can't wear those things together. I was like, traitor.
Like, is there a hole in the shirt? I mean, hey, if it doesn't fit,
classic.
Cool.
It was a real fashion show for us. Our Uncle Tom, did you hear that? He was going to wear a shirt with tractors on and he didn't wear it because he'd been doing too many neck workouts.
What? His neck didn't fit in it?
Yeah, he told Claire, I've been going to the YMCA every day. And every day I went there, then I went to put on my tractor shirt, didn't fit anymore. Delts are too big.
I'd wear it just to show that off.
He also said he doesn't like to hug old people. He's 86.
I mean, that's going to be my thought too when I'm there.
Yeah, I know. Well, those were my fashion thoughts, but I comment below in the video, like what is your brand of fashion? Like what colors don't go together? Maybe it'll be instructional for me.
Yeah, we need help, please. This is more help than anything else. But yeah, definitely watch this. I'm hearing myself on delay here. Okay, there we go. Definitely watch this on YouTube, on the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. All of our episodes for this season and beyond are on the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. So give it a subscribe, give the video a like, and share the show. We got some stuff to say next week. We're gonna plan some stuff. We have a game next week. We're getting back to that. We wanted to, dip our toe back in the water, and we had stuff to say. We just didn't know what it was until cameras started rolling,
That's right. It's just like Gronk said one time, sometimes people need stuff.
Come listen to the podcast show. Flurry Sports got the rhythm. Get on the floor and let go. Talking sports all day and night. Bringing laughter and delight. Come and join the party. Let's make it all right.